Can you see that? I don't know if you caught that. That's pretty cute. I got cut off, but there wasn't that much more to say, but I wanted to say it. And I don't remember exactly, like, so Paul, like, tells Nancy, I was like, and she's like, well, I'm with you, you know. And Paul gets pissed off, or Paul leaves, goes to the back porch deck, and when she's alone with me, she's like, are you still homeschooling? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I feel sorry for Poppy not having, I feel like she's going to enter at any moment, not having school or clubs or YMCA or anything. So, and I'm actually really pissed because this group, this gardening group that we signed her up for this summer at the farm, got canceled. Like they didn't have a teacher to do it or something. They're very disorganized. So that was going to be the big thing this summer. Okay, so anyway, she's like, I feel sorry for her for not having blah, blah, blah. So I was like, that's one of the reasons I'm willing to move to Portland, because there's a big homeschooling scene there. It's big. There's a lot of areas, a lot of different kinds of groups, social groups, educational groups. So I feel like we can transition into that scene, and if it's difficult or she's not happy, then we feel more comfortable sending her to school out there. So that's where we're at. And then and I was like, and I feel, but I feel kind of like at the same time I'm totally interested and cool with that. There's a part of me that's like, here we are, we have a home, like, so I like my home. It's home. I don't want to uproot again. And so it's interesting how I used to uproot like every few years when I was either single or with Kevin, and because I have like a suitcase and maybe a box of books to ship. I had nothing, and I didn't have a child. So anyway, whatever. But so I go out to the deck, and he's just standing there. And I go up to him, and I was like, I knew. I was like, did I throw you under the bus? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry I didn't show a united front. I don't feel united. And he was like, obviously. He was like, I felt like at that moment that we're not moving and we shouldn't move because you don't want to move. He pretty much just said that we're not moving, actually. And so I was like, I am more wanting to move than not move. But I have serious anxiety and dread about it, over everything we've talked about, over the housing market and the job market, and uprooting Poppy, and getting ready to fucking sell this house, and how long is it going to take to sell the house, and then when we get there, where are we going to stay, and how long is it going to take to find a place, like blah 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 blah, everything. And then I feel this feeling in my heart that we have a home and I don't want to leave our home. Like, I like coming home to this home every time I do. Like, I felt it last night when we left their house, and nothing bad really happened there, except for Nancy kind of being a secret bitch. I walked in our home and I felt good, and I always have that, unless it's totally gross and dirty, which it usually isn't. So I said to Paul, I was like, I wasn't lying when I said I'm not completely sure about it. And I thought that showing her, like, I didn't want to lie. I could have lied. But I thought that showing her that there is some ambivalence between us and about it, that it's not like we're like, yeah, we're out of here, see ya. Like, that it's not this easy, like, we're bored here, like, whatever. Like, just show her that it's not an easy decision, which it is not. I wish we never moved here. The last house on 31st, wasn't as awesome as this house, but it was fine. It was a cool house, I can remember things, I can think of things about it to pick it apart, but it was basically fine. And things I liked, and the neighborhood, like, so close. Okay, we're on the wrong side of Powell, but close to all that Clinton stuff, walking distance, and just like a likable area. And I have cried. I've cried, not just recently, over what we gave up. And I think, like, when we sold that house in 2013, there was a bidding war. We sold the house in 2 days. We bought the house for $210,000, and we put it on the market for like 230 or something, because we had done some work on it, like that Poppy's room was a mess, and we cleaned it up, and we done some work, some plumbing, a few $1,000s worth of work. So we jacked up the price somewhat, and then it shot up to $300,000. We made a $90,000 profit after living there less than 2 years. And that was 4 years ago. And now I'm hearing that Portland's exploding. Like, prices of houses are sky high. I'm sure in that neighborhood, like, totally unaffordable. If we'd hung on to that house, and paid attention to the market, I don't know, we could have moved to something even more fabulous in Portland. Or if we had to move to New York, we could have gotten something closer to the city or in the city, something. I feel like we were on the cusp of making like a huge profit. And we made a really nice profit, but it could have been so much more. And that tortures me. And when I talk about that, he's like, "That's the past. Don't think about the past." I cannot help it. So there's that, which isn't really worth talking about because there is nothing we can do about it. But I feel this. I feel like we never should have moved. And I was like, the other day, I was like, why did we move here? And he's like, well, I felt shitty about taking my mom's money. I felt shitty about not getting able to a real job. And he said that last. I felt shitty about mom's money and her not getting to see her grandchild. And I was like, so you kind of traded a grandchild for some money. Like, you sacrificed your child. And he was like, I guess so. And then it was like, and I felt like I couldn't get a job. And that's why we left. Once again, that really had nothing to do with me, except I was afraid that he would never get a good job. And she was still like kind of a baby, and I wasn't going to be putting her in daycare. So, and I have my mental illness and a horrible track record for jobs, so I can hardly blame him for having a horrible job record for jobs, although I didn't spend 10 years smoking weed in a house that I got basically for free from my grandpa. So, he had certain advantages that he squandered, but he's weird, and I don't know if he ever could have gotten it. He's doing fine now at my sister's firm, though. He dresses respectably. He knows how to act appropriately. He does his job. He shows up on time. Actually, he doesn't show up on time, but nobody really keeps track of his hours. But he does his work. I'm kind of babbling, but the job thing was a crisis. When he got fired from the post office, for reasons that seemed very petty, but he got fired, I remember feeling this like horrendous despair, like that he's not functional. And that's why I got all about the dental thing. And he did it here in New York and then barely tried to get a job. He was a zombie. And sometimes I wonder if he had done it in Portland, maybe he would have been less of a zombie. Maybe it would have been less like Long Island in Portland. I don't know. But there, I understand his reasons for moving, and I had my own fears, but I really wasn't super involved in the decision. If I'd ever said no, that would have been taken totally seriously. We wouldn't have gone. And I think I was manic. Like, not manic like delusional, but manic like hypomanic energy. The way I mobilized, researched everything I did. And now I don't feel that way. Even though, like, in the bigger, I regret moving, but now I don't want to go back. I'd rather be there. I guess I'm just afraid. I'm afraid of what we're in for in Portland. Like, he works part time now, and he creates his own hours. That's not going to exist anywhere else on the planet. And but he is good at working now. Like, he's proven himself at like functioning in an environment, a work office environment. But is he going to be able to handle like a full time job? Uh, Hopefully I get a disability that'll help, but it's not gonna be like a fortune. Um, and his mom yesterday was like, "What about Queens? What about Brooklyn?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've looked into that." I was like, "We can afford basically a house that's in foreclosure, that's gutted, that is in an undesirable neighborhood, which to me is nowhere near a subway, and maybe like all black or all any ethnicity and like no white people." I feel uncomfortable about that. I do. But mostly I feel like I could live in any neighborhood if it was near a subway and the house was okay. And there was walkability and okay shopping. I mean, those are my real priorities, not racial demographics. So, um, I don't know. I've heard Jamaica's kind of up and coming. That's near public trans. But anyway, he doesn't. He's cool with the idea of the city for getting to the job more easily and just to be kind of somewhere that's like more alive than where we are. But really, 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 what he wants is to be near his friends and do music. And he's not delusional. He doesn't expect to be Bruce Springsteen. He just wants to have like his friends and his music. And I get it. What the fuck do I have? I have nothing. I mean, I'm a lone wolf, and maybe that's fucked up. Like, I made really solid bonds in Chicago. That's a long time ago, and those are people that I text sometimes, and I'm kind of like unconnected with my family, and I have no one in California, and Portland, via Paul or via my mom friends, I have acquaintances. I have you, but when are you gonna be there? When are you gonna be there? I can't remember, and if you're gonna be there. But yeah, change your clothes. But I can't take this thing off. I think you can. You're doing it. Come here. I can barely even shove my arm. This is just so horrible because I only get 14 minutes to do this. Can you wait? I need a minute. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Hey! Just give me a minute. Just give me a goddamn minute. Okay. I need space. Privacy. This is where I'm at with her. I have 20 seconds, actually. Maybe I wasn't really saying anything. Maybe I was too harsh. I was too harsh. But I've had this irritated feeling all day. I'm sorry. I witnessed me being mean to her. I'm not always like that with her. It pisses me off that she refuses to try to take off a shirt or a dress. Also. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to find... I gotta find a reason to go there. Like, it's nice. It's a nice place. I probably can make better connections for Poppy. That's very, very important. And, I'm not that into friendship. I mean, I'm not that into, like, forming new friendships. So, But I'm afraid of feeling isolated. Like, I feel isolated now. I feel isolated and I gotta go. Bye.